Have you ever wondered why North Korea paints its submarines green? It's a unique choice in naval camouflage, standing out from the typical black or dark gray used by other nations. Today, we dive deep into this mystery to uncover the real reasons behind this unusual color choice. Number 1. Camouflage in coastal waters. North Korea's green submarines are specifically adapted for operations in shallow coastal waters, which are often filled with dense algae and aquatic plants. The Yellow Sea and the Sea of Japan have unique maritime environments with murky, greenish hues caused by high concentrations of phytoplankton, suspended sediments, and seasonal algal blooms. These waters often have reduced visibility, especially when combined with factors like tides and river runoff, making the green coloration an effective means of blending in. Unlike open ocean waters, which are typically blue and clearer, coastal regions have a complex light environment where green hues can obscure the submarine's outline, reducing its contrast with the background. This approach to camouflage is particularly useful against visual detection from aerial patrols, drones, or satellites that monitor coastal areas. The green paint can also help the submarines evade detection from nearby vessels using optical equipment, as they often remain submerged at shallow depths during their operations. Moreover, the choice of green over more traditional dark colors might also minimize the sub's visibility against the backdrop of underwater plant life and kelp forests common in these regions. This tailored approach allows North Korean submarines to take advantage of the natural seafloor characteristics, providing a strategic advantage in their preferred operational zones. Number 2. Asymmetric naval warfare. North Korea's emphasis on asymmetric naval warfare is evident in its unconventional tactics, including the green paint on its submarines. This approach is designed to offset the country's technological and numerical disadvantages compared to more advanced navies. By using green paint, North Korea adds an element of unpredictability and confusion, which aligns with its broader military strategy. Unconventional coloring serves as a psychological weapon. Most navies expect to encounter submarines painted in standard colors like black or gray, optimized for deep-sea stealth and sonar evasion. However, North Korea's choice of green breaks this convention, creating uncertainty and forcing adversaries to reconsider visual identification processes. The element of surprise is crucial in asymmetric warfare, especially in the cluttered maritime environment of the Korean Peninsula. North Korean submarines often operate in areas crowded with fishing vessels, merchant ships, and coastal terrain, which already provide numerous opportunities for concealment. The green paint enhances this by disrupting visual tracking, especially in coastal areas where submarines might be seen against a background of algae-rich waters, underwater vegetation, and green-tinted shorelines. This disruption in enemy visual tracking introduces an additional layer of complexity to enemy anti-submarine efforts, stretching the resources of opposing navies who need to remain vigilant in these challenging environments. North Korea's naval doctrine prioritizes stealth and surprise attacks, using submarines for covert operations such as reconnaissance, mine-laying, and the potential delivery of special operations forces. The green paint complements these roles by adding to the psychological ambiguity of their intentions and capabilities. For instance, during exercises or patrols, the unusual coloration can lead to misidentification or delayed responses from enemy forces, giving North Korea valuable time to execute its missions. This tactic effectively plays on the adversary's uncertainty, creating doubt and complicating their strategic calculations. The psychological impact extends beyond the tactical level. By employing unorthodox methods like green camouflage, North Korea sends a message to its adversaries and the international community that it is willing to defy norms and utilize any means necessary to maintain a strategic edge. This unpredictability serves as a deterrent, as it complicates enemy plans and makes it more difficult for them to predict North Korea's next move. The green paint becomes a symbol of North Korea's commitment to its asymmetric strategy, constantly seeking to introduce uncertainty and keep its opponents off balance. This tactic is further enhanced by North Korea's use of misinformation and secrecy surrounding its military programs, amplifying the effectiveness of even small, unconventional choices like submarine paint color. Number 3. Resource limitations and cost-effectiveness. North Korea's naval strategy is heavily shaped by the reality of its economic situation. With international sanctions severely limiting access to advanced technology and materials, the country prioritizes practical and cost-effective solutions. High-end naval paints used by other countries offer enhanced stealth capabilities and corrosion resistance, but are expensive and require specialized components often sourced internationally. Due to sanctions and an isolated economy, North Korea cannot easily acquire these materials. Instead, they opt for green paint, which is likely produced using more basic, locally sourced pigments. This approach is consistent with North Korea's doctrine of jushi, or self-reliance, which emphasizes using domestic resources to overcome international isolation. Green paint is not only cheaper, but also easier to maintain. Advanced submarine coatings require controlled application processes, skilled labor, and specific maintenance facilities, all of which are limited in North Korea. By using a simpler type of paint, North Korea can maintain its submarines in less advanced shipyards with basic tools and unskilled labor. This reduces the logistical burden of keeping their submarine fleet operational. Frequent repainting with simpler materials ensures that even if the paint is not as durable or technologically advanced, the submarines remain in active use with minimal downtime. North Korea's submarine fleet consists of numerous small, diesel-electric submarines designed for coastal operations rather than deep-sea engagements. Their focus is on creating a large number of functional vessels rather than a few highly advanced ones. This quantity over quality strategy means they can afford to use more basic materials, like green paint, without significantly compromising their operational effectiveness. The use of green paint may also reflect an understanding of their submarines' expected operational environments, where high-end stealth materials may provide diminishing returns. Moreover, North Korea's shipbuilding industry has historically been constrained by limited industrial capacity. The simpler paint allows them to streamline their production processes, enabling them to produce and maintain a larger fleet with fewer resources. The paint choice aligns with their larger military strategy, which often employs low-cost, unconventional methods to offset the technological superiority of adversaries. This resourcefulness allows North Korea to maintain an effective, if less technologically advanced, naval presence in the region. In a broader context, North Korea's reliance on green paint underscores the nation's strategic improvisation. By making use of what is readily available, they can continue to project power and maintain a deterrent force without the need for expensive imports or advanced technology. It exemplifies their adaptive approach to military readiness in the face of economic and technological limitations. Number 4. Influence of military doctrine. North Korea's military doctrine emphasizes asymmetric warfare, leveraging unconventional strategies to offset its technological disadvantages. Their submarines are integral to this approach, designed for roles such as reconnaissance, infiltration, and surprise attacks. The use of green paint aligns with their focus on stealth, allowing these subs to blend into coastal environments, reducing visual detection. This tactic exploits the geography of the Korean peninsula, where murky coastal waters provide natural concealment. The doctrine prioritizes unpredictability, creating strategic ambiguity that complicates enemy planning and response. North Korea's doctrine stresses flexibility and adaptability. They deploy submarines in a variety of roles, often using them to deploy special operations forces covertly or to gather intelligence on enemy movements. The focus on smaller, diesel-electric submarines reflects a deliberate choice to prioritize stealth and maneuverability over raw power. These submarines can operate closer to the shore, in shallower waters, where larger, more advanced submarines might struggle. The green paint further complements this strategy by making the submarines harder to spot visually in these complex maritime environments. Their use of submarines is not merely defensive. North Korea has a history of deploying them for provocative operations, like infiltration missions into South Korean waters. These actions reflect a doctrine that is not just reactive, but also aims to assert pressure on adversaries. By maintaining a fleet of submarines that are difficult to detect and track, North Korea introduces a persistent element of uncertainty. This forces adversaries to allocate disproportionate resources to anti-submarine warfare, thereby stretching their military capabilities. North Korea's doctrine incorporates psychological warfare. The unpredictability of their submarine fleet, enhanced by their camouflage tactics, serves to create confusion and anxiety among their adversaries. This strategic ambiguity is a deliberate part of their military posture, aimed at deterring potential aggression by presenting a credible, though undefined, underwater threat. The green paint is thus more than a simple choice of color. It is a reflection of a broader strategic mindset that seeks to use every available means to enhance the perceived threat posed by their submarine fleet. North Korea's military doctrine is shaped by their historical context and resource limitations. Given their isolation and the technological superiority of their adversaries, North Korea has developed a doctrine that values the element of surprise and the use of asymmetric tactics to challenge larger and more advanced naval forces. Their submarines' role in this doctrine exemplifies how they have turned limitations into strategic advantages, using unconventional means like green camouflage to maintain an enigmatic and threatening presence in regional waters.